Hello everybody, this is AK. I'm back. So why am I thinking of liquidating my entire investment portfolio? Is it because I think the stock market is going to crash very soon? Do I know when the stock market is going to crash? Honest answer, no, I don't know. Of course, if we watch enough YouTube videos and all that kind of thing, social media, we know that there are some perma bears, right? You keep saying that, oh, the crash is overdue, there's going to be a crash soon. The fact is, if we think of past stock market crashes, huge crashes, they usually happen when no one is expecting something like that to happen, right? It just happens. It's kind of like an overnight kind of thing. It happens when we least expect it, right? And which is why I've said before that no one has perfect knowledge, right? And we don't have working crystal balls. The best thing to do is always to have a war chest ready, and if a crash happens, we have the money to take advantage of the crash. So never be 100% invested, and the only time we should be 100% invested is when there is a crash, right? And of course, I'll also say we should always have an emergency fund, right? Because if a stock market should crash and we don't have an emergency fund, and usually crashes happen when something is wrong with the economy, for example, and if we should lose our job, we don't have an emergency fund, nothing to fall back on, we might have to liquidate our investments at much lower prices, and we might have to take losses, right? So war chest to take advantage of opportunity, emergency fund to tide us over difficult times like that, right? So but I'm thinking of liquidating my entire investment portfolio, and this is something I've been thinking of for just the past few days. Well, someone told me, and it's it's not something new, that we cannot bring our money into our next life if we believe in such a thing as a next life, and of course there's people saying that we should die with zero, right? That's also quite a popular concept, popular amongst certain groups of people. So I sat down and I look at what I have, and if I should liquidate everything, would I have enough to last till the day I die? And the answer is a resounding yes. Let's say if someone has investments, if liquidated would give him like $2 million, right? And let's say he says he needs $4,000 per month in order to be quite comfortable, and drawing down 4,000 and plus inflation, maybe he draws down 4,500 or 5,000 in future per month. I think that $2 million would easily last him more than 20 years, right? But I have quite a bit more than $2 million if I should liquidate everything. And I can foresee the money lasting me till past 100 years old. All right, so the thinking about liquidating the entire portfolio and having maybe there's a truly stress-free kind of retirement. Not because I think a crash is coming, but because I think maybe I truly have enough not to have to invest for higher returns and to grow my wealth, and this is a big leap someone might say it's forward, someone might say it's backward, but it is definitely a change in the way I usually think. Right, it's a change in status quo if I really should do it, because I say I've always been a worrier, and I always worry that I don't have enough, and things could go wrong in the future. Imagine if there's hyperinflation, then if I should liquidate my entire portfolio and 2 million is 2 million, I'm stuck. I'm in trouble. Right. So, of course, something someone has said to me in the comment section is that, well, why not retire in Johor? Right. And this was a comment from a reader a couple of days ago. So what do you think of amassing $500,000 in savings, have a fully paid property, and in his case it's a 4-room HDB flat, and then retire in Johor Bahru? Now, the rental income for a 4-room HDB flat would be about $3,000 per month, which is about 10,000 ringgit per month. And the $500,000 in cash could generate something like 3% in interest income, or about $1,200 or 1,200 ringgit per month. And that would give us a total passive income of almost 12,000 ringgit a month. So is that a monthly sum enough for husband and wife with no kids to retire well in Johor Bahru? Right? So, there are many ways of having a comfortable retirement. And we might not necessarily need to have $1 million, $2 million in cash to retire comfortably, right? And but I did say that I'm not familiar with the living conditions and the cost in Johor Bahru. I've not been there in many years, and I've told people I no longer have a passport, and I don't intend to leave Singapore. In fact, my reply was that I like Singapore. I really like Singapore, and I used to think of retiring elsewhere. But as I grow older, I've changed my mind and I've decided, if I can afford it, I'll just retire in Singapore, and I think I can afford it, right? So, but thinking of retiring Johor Bahru, I think that you have to remember that if you want to rent out our property here in Singapore, there might be times when we can't rent it out, or there might be times when the rental income is actually lower. We cannot always think that the rental income will stay high, or there'll always be demand for our property here. And number two, if we save $500,000 in cash, generating 3% per annum, again, we cannot assume that interest rates will stay high or higher for longer, or higher forever. Not higher for longer. It's going to stay higher for longer, interest rates higher for longer, but we cannot assume that it's going to stay higher forever, right? So having some buffer would still make sense. And if you want to retire in JB, right, even though you can get a lot more bang for your Singapore dollar in JB, I think having a bit more buffer makes sense. Just AK the worrier talking again. I'm always worrying about stuff. So why am I thinking of liquidating my entire portfolio? Well, now you know. If AK can talk to himself, so can you. Bye-bye.